Hey guys, Robert here. Gonna break out a new life hack today that I'm gonna try, see what everybody thinks about it. My boys I have 10-year-old twin boys, and we're involved in Boy Scouts. They're Webelos, and we are we are going on a camp out next month. And so I was walking around the house earlier, and my wife, God bless her, has saved all of these dead, empty candles. Trying to figure out what, I walked by a shelf and I saw this. Let me show you. Okay, guys, these are some of the dead candles that she had, as you can see. Cool jars and stuff like that, but they get down this far. The wick gets down that far. You can't really light the thing. It's kind of useless. These are some of the little ones that we had that I've already boiled out. Another decent sized one that, 3 wicks in it, stuff like that you can't really burn. It's kind of a useless candle. So what I did was I came over here and I stick them in boiling water, and what you get is you get all of this. Now what I'm using is I'm using this one right here to store all of my wax in as I'm heating it up and melting it down. These are other candles that I'm putting in here to melt down, and if you notice, what I do is I wait until it gets good and melted, and then I can pull the wax base or the wick base out and everything else like that. So got that going. That takes a little bit of time. We'll come back to that in a minute. Hopefully we'll come up with a few more candles here and there. You can use any kind of candles. You can even use old Scentsy blocks that have been used up, things like that. Or if your wife got a particular smell that she thought was going to be awesome, and bought 3 packages of it for the whole house, and then got it home and ended up not liking it, and so you've got all this extra Scentsy wax that's left over. You can use pretty much any of this wax for this. From there, what we have is we have a nice little simple egg crate, and you have dryer lint. Now if you do laundry, you're guaranteed to have dryer lint. Okay, that's just a given. So what you do is you take all of this dryer lint, tear it up into pieces, things like that. Hard to do this one-handed. You put it in the egg crate. Okay, do all these little things. You tear off a little piece, stick it in the egg crate. Okay, like so. Okay, so now you've got all of these little pieces of dryer lint. We'll come back to that, and I'll finish doing that here in a few minutes. But you've got all of this little pieces of dryer lint and everything else. So we'll come back to all of that here in a minute. All right, come back here. We got this camera. This candle's all melted out, and what we do is we come in here with our needle nose pliers, and we get this little piece of metal doohickey out right here, because it's pretty much useless. Got to be careful because it gets a little warm. Kind of hard to do one-handed. This is when it'd be nice to have a cameraman. Okay, come on. Oh, you little bugger, come here. Alright, got it. Get that little bugger out of there. Once you've done that, depending on how hot this glass is, you can usually just take your pliers. So you got melted wax. Take your pliers, pour that melted wax right into there. Get out as much as you can. Set it aside. Ta-da! Now you've got more wax. And what you'll find is if you take one jar and you put it all in one location and everything else, you'll wind up building up a whole lot of wax in one location. Alright, quick little update. Just had to change something. Had a couple of decent sized jars left that I had to get wax out of. This is one of the bigger jars that I had to get wax out of. This is our original jar that I was putting all of the wax into and keeping it warm, so I had to move it over to a different pot so that I could make room in that pot to get the last of the wax out of the bigger jars that I had. That'll be our full bulk amount. This will be the one that we continue to boil the wax down in, things like that. The other cool part is if you have like little tea lights or anything like that, something that doesn't have a jar that you can boil it in or anything, basically what you need to do is you just need to take the candle itself, flip it over, pull the metal piece out of the bottom, and then drop it into your big jar, as you can see right there, and put it in with your other hot wax, and it will melt away. Once it melts away, you'll be left with the wick floating around in there. All you gotta do is reach in with your needle nose, pull out the wick, and you're good to go. So we'll be back shortly, and we will continue making these things and hopefully have a bunch of decent little fire starters that were all naturally made and made out of scrap crap that you found around your house that your wife likes to collect. Luckily, she can't hear me right now, so I'm in good shape.
Ha 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 ha, score. Well, just as we were running out of candles to boil down, and I was wondering whether or not I was going to have enough. Oh, there's a kid.
Hi.
Okay, this is who we're doing this for. So just as, oh, there's another one back there. Way back there, see? Okay, there we go. So just as I was running out of candles to boil down and everything else, I located Scentsies, you know, the scrap extra ones, stuff like that that she doesn't use anymore. So-called flowery scents. I don't like the smell of flowers, anything too perfumey, and my sinuses start acting up. As I just got told, I'm more of a food flavors kind of Scentsy guy. So that's what my wife puts around the house because the flowers don't. So good news is we're going to be boiling down some of these Scentsies as well. So, and adding them, and we'll move on to the next step shortly thereafter.
Ah, now I got it working.
Okay, now we're working. Okay, so what we did was, remember, we filled up our egg crate with all of the dryer lint. Yes, there's a bunch of crap and yucky crap in there and everything else like that, and it's all stuff you pulled out of your garbage. As my wife zooms in, my wife, the camera person. So,
That's disgusting.
yeah, it's kind of gross, but it's kind of cool because it's free fire starter stuff. So we used our cardboard egg crate. Don't use styrofoam, don't use plastic, don't use any of that. Make sure that you use the cardboard paper style egg crates, otherwise you're just it's all bad. Plus the styrofoam will melt with the wax, things like that. We've combined all of our wax down to the one candle jar, and we have, you know, the Scentsies that the wife so generously donated.
And that does not smell good.
No, as a general rule, a big package of, let me get a towel, big package of different Scentsies and everything else is kind of like an overload on your senses. So, yummy garbage. Okay, so this thing's not all that hot. The top of the jar is not all that hot, but the side and the base of the jar is going to be hot. So use a towel, something like that. First thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you grab the jar. You've got the jar, it's ready. You got, look, yummy black wax. It all turns into crap. So, and what we're going to do from here is we are going to find a better way to grab this jar so that we can hold it better. We're going to, ooh, it's getting warm too.
Do you want me to turn that off?
No, we can leave it on because I'm going to have to probably get back in there. So this is going to be hot. So what we do is we slowly pour in. Can you see?
Yeah.
Or do I need to come down to this end first?
Okay.
Come down to this end first. We're going to pour a little bit of wax over each one of these little things. Okay, we're probably going to make a mess, which we are making a mess onto the floor. Good news is it's wax. So we pour a little bit on each of them.
Yeah, go that way.
Kind of a mess. This is why I have a pan here that we're doing this with.
Some butcher paper would make it if it were out.
So, once we've got them good and covered, we've got leftover wax. I've made wax mess everywhere. We'll put that back in there for right now. And we let it cool and we let it dry. These are good and waxy down here. This one not so much. I may have to add some more down at this end. Good news is I've got wax on your pot holders, so that'll
Good
be...
news is it came from the Dollar Tree, so I'll just go get another one while I'm up there.
Hey, there we go. Let's finish these two off down here.
Because I'm not putting that in the dryer. Because it will melt wax all over all the clothes.
Well, and cool. And then you could do it in the dryer lint. In dryer lint, we could make these things out of the
Out of our clothes.
out of our lint tray. So, all right. Well, we're left with a little bit of trash wax. We can leave that for later. We'll go ahead and turn the fire off. We've made our big gigantic mess that we will let our children clean up. And we wait till these cool. See you as soon as they're done. All right. So, we've waited about 45 minutes. We've let the wax cool. We kept it on a tray as much as we could and made a big old mess. We've got extra wax floating around in here, which can go in the garbage. But if you zoom in here, come in here and take a look, you've got all of these little cups that are all full, solid, and yes, they look gross and everything else. So what we're going to do is take our scissors. Okay, we are going to cut off the lid. Garbage. Cut off these extra pieces. And garbage. Okay. This still feels a little warm, but it's not bad. It's not hot or anything. But if you look, this is why. See all this extra wax and everything else that's soaked through the cardboard and stuff? That's why you want to do it on a foil or something like that. Something so you don't make a gigantic mess out of your counter and have your wife kill you. She's smiling behind the camera. So, what you do is you take these and you cut them into individual little circles. Every time you do one of these, cut them. That's what you're going to have. Now, these little doohickeys right here. And they actually smell good. So you'll have a nice, smelly, decent campfire. You know, not for those of you that actually matters. Who cares?
You could probably use a certain scent that would keep away mosquitoes and stuff, though.
That actually might not be a bad idea. Is if you did this with if you melted an old citronella candle down and did this, you could probably do this, and that would probably help keep mosquitoes away. The only problem is you don't really want to be cooking over a citronella candle if you were going to cook s'mores or anything like that.
Yeah.
You probably don't want to be doing that over a citronella candle. So what I've done here is I have made a dozen of these little fire starters. Okay, each one of these should burn approximately 15 minutes, anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes. So you can put one or two of them in a decent sized campfire, and as long as you know what you're doing when you're building a campfire, you can put small kindling, things like that, and you can use this as a basic fire starter to get going on your campouts. So now we have enough for 1 dozen campfires to be started with approximately 10 to 15 minutes of burn time. I'm going to go ahead and throw them in a plastic baggie that my lovely wife is handing me, my lovely assistant. And you go through and you've got all of these, and ta-da! You're all sealed up. Now, while I would use these for the Boy Scout campout, it's great and all, but when we go camping in our trailer, in our camper, we'll use these to set up our campfires and things like that. But you could also use these for barbecue pits, things like that. If you're going to get your barbecue pit going, you didn't want to use charcoal, you didn't want to use lighter fluid or anything like that.
Or your fireplace?
Fireplace. Fireplace is a good one. Most places have gas fireplaces so that you can start it with gas, but hey, that's a good idea. But there you go. Nice simple life hack made out of nothing but trash, stuff you were going to throw away. So stay tuned next time. I'm going to come up with something new. I have no idea what, but be sure it will be something neat, something easy, and something dirt poor cheap, because I hate spending
That's how
money.
we roll.
Because that's how we roll. All right, till next time, this is Robert. This is your fire starter life hack. Catch you later.